Should companies be in charge of the decision-making process when censoring information? That's a big argument. We're talking about important information, political statements, polarizing issues, celebrity opinions, and much more. Chris, this is something that you mentioned in our last segment, but I'm going to bring the conversation over to Karolina. Do you think that companies should have that right to make those decisions, Karolina?
It really just depends. Honestly, I think if we have an actual team of people who are trained to do this and, specialize in social issues, sure, why not? They're professionals and they know probably more than the
What
general
defines
public.
that, though? What defines the training?
Well, but people go to get degrees in it, right? People study social cues and how socialism works. Sorry, not socialism, but how society works, right? And what is considered hateful, what's not considered hateful, and historical impacts of that.
Now, we could be looking at two extremes, because maybe you guys disagree with that, but if we're taking a look at that, then I think the different biases in everybody's life will depict how they define hate speech. Bianca, what are your thoughts on Karolina's statement?
Oh, I'm blanking here.
Agree or disagree?
I can jump in. I think we should let the free market decide. So at the end of the day, if you are very sensitive, maybe Instagram's a great place for you. If you aren't very sensitive, maybe Twitter's more your speed. So once again, I think free market capitalism has the solution here. Depending on the platform and kind of what your tolerance is for certain things, you might choose one platform over the other. I think that's the best way to go about it. And the only true way to give the consumer. And then we'll find out which platform is most popular and which is people agree with.
I have a statement here by Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, said, social media provides a global megaphone for hate. How does the rise of social media impact hate speech? And if it makes it more prevalent and accessible, would you agree?
So actually, I was just going to say something like this that has to do with it's not providing a megaphone, it's creating an environment, because we have algorithms, right? So whether you're on the right or on the left, your algorithm is becoming more and more suited to you and your beliefs and your views, right? So it's constantly cutting away at all the things that you don't even want to hear, right? So I don't know if it's magnifying it. I think that people are starting to go into this narrow road or narrow way where they're hearing only what they want to hear. They're just...
See, but that's the point. And then it reinforces their ideas of what they already believe. And how humans work is that we make schemas of how we make sense about life. Religion is, for example, one of them. People get really angry even if something is not true. You can come in with a fact and tell the person that that's not correct, and they would just get angry and hostile towards other people.
Now, I feel like, Chris, based on your point, that's okay. Do you agree?
I just think that if we're giving people are going to spend time already wherever they decide to spend time. If we're talking about social media, they're going to spend time on the platform that suits them the best. So at least if we have different options, if we have Rumble, if we have YouTube, if we have more competition around how things are created on the internet, you're giving the average person more choice as far as deciding where I want to spend my time, what kind of things I want to see. Now, if you want to live in an echo chamber, maybe that's where you're going to end up, which is a lot of the algorithms, to both of your points. That's the way they are right now. But what I'm saying is the options are going to give us the best kind of vote with your time to the end consumer.
Now, Chris, what you said was that companies should be able to decide on their own. But with a monopolized industry, should companies be able to decide on their own? I mean, we're assuming that, Rumble's a massive platform. It's really not.
No, I agree. I understand that we're dealing with a situation right now where there's a couple big players and there's kind of some very minor players. I still think that's much better than the one-way communication we had before this, where we had mainstream media and that was pretty much it. So I think that social media is still giving a voice to a variety of different opinions and thoughts if we're talking about misinformation and things like that. So I think it's moving in the right direction. And I think we also need to be cognizant of breaking up monopolies in this situation, especially when we're talking about control of information.
Okay. Now, so when imposing limits, should the government have any say? Bianca?
Nope. Government should never have any say.
None at all?
No, I don't think so.
Karolina, what do you
Not
think?
when it comes to
Don't we
words.
already have limits on that? Hate speech is illegal.
In terms of the Human Rights Code. But should the government do anything about it? I don't know.
I don't think you necessarily should limit hate speech. I think, if a person wants to make something hateful towards another group of people, sure, you're showing your true self and you're letting everybody else know. But I definitely think like at least a disclaimer that this is considered hate speech.
I'ma rule the world, I'ma rule